Welcome to our U.S. presidential trivia quiz. Can you guess the right president for each question? Let's find out. Presidents of USA. Who was the first president of the United States? A. Thomas Jefferson. B. George Washington. C. John Adams. B. George Washington. Which president issued the Emancipation Proclamation? A. Abraham Lincoln. B. Andrew Johnson. C. Ulysses S. Grant. A. Abraham Lincoln. Who was the only president to resign from office? A. Richard Nixon. B. Gerald Ford. C. Jimmy Carter. A. Richard Nixon. Which president is on the $20 bill? A. Andrew Jackson. B. Ulysses S. Grant. C. Abraham Lincoln. A. Andrew Jackson. Who was the president during the Louisiana Purchase? A. James Madison. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. John Quincy Adams. B. Thomas Jefferson. Which president delivered the Gettysburg Address? A. Abraham Lincoln. B. James Buchanan. C. Andrew Johnson. A. Abraham Lincoln. Who was the first president to live in the White House? A. George Washington. B. John Adams. C. Thomas Jefferson. B. John Adams. Which president is known for the New Deal? A. Franklin D. Roosevelt. B. Herbert Hoover. C. Harry S. Truman. A. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Which president signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964? A. John F. Kennedy. B. Lyndon B. Johnson. C. Richard Nixon. B. Lyndon B. Johnson. Who was the youngest elected president? A. John F. Kennedy. B. Theodore Roosevelt. C. Bill Clinton. A. John F. Kennedy. Which president served the shortest term in office? A. William Henry Harrison. B. James A. Garfield. C. Zachary Taylor. A. William Henry Harrison. Which president was in office during World War I? A. Woodrow Wilson. B. Warren G. Harding. C. Calvin Coolidge. A. Woodrow Wilson. Which president was a former Hollywood actor? A. Ronald Reagan. B. Dwight D. Eisenhower. C. George H. W. Bush. A. Ronald Reagan. Who was the president during the Cuban Missile Crisis? A. John F. Kennedy. B. Dwight D. Eisenhower. C. Lyndon B. Johnson. A. John F. Kennedy. Which president is known as the father of the Constitution? A. George Washington. B. James Madison. C. Thomas Jefferson. B. James Madison. Who was the first president to be impeached? A. Andrew Johnson. B. Richard Nixon. C. Bill Clinton. A. Andrew Johnson. Which president authorized the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki? A. Franklin D. Roosevelt. B. Harry S. Truman. C. Dwight D. Eisenhower. B. Harry S. Truman. Which president was known as the Great Communicator? A. Bill Clinton. B. Ronald Reagan. C. George W. Bush. B. Ronald Reagan. Who was the president during the War of 1812? A. Thomas Jefferson. B. James Madison. C. James Monroe. B. James Madison. Which president signed the Affordable Care Act into law? A. George W. Bush. B. Bill Clinton. C. Barack Obama. C. Barack Obama. Which president was involved in the Teapot Dome scandal? A. Warren G. Harding. B. Calvin Coolidge. C. Herbert Hoover. A. Warren G. Harding. During which president did the 9/11 attack happen? A. Bill Clinton. B. Jimmy Carter. C. George W. Bush. George W. Bush. Which president was in office during the moon landing? A. John F. Kennedy. B. Lyndon B. Johnson. C. Richard Nixon. C. Richard Nixon. Which president had a foreign policy named dollar diplomacy? A. William Howard Taft. B. Woodrow Wilson. C. Theodore Roosevelt. A. William Howard Taft. Which president was a former peanut farmer? A. Jimmy Carter. B. Gerald Ford. C. Ronald Reagan. A. Jimmy Carter. Attachments. In this section, interested people can find more explanations about the above questions. Emancipation Proclamation. Issued by President Abraham Lincoln in 1863 during the Civil War, the Emancipation Proclamation declared that all slaves in Confederate-held territory were to be set free. While it didn't immediately free all enslaved people, it was a crucial step toward the abolition of slavery in the United States. Louisiana Purchase. In 1803, President Thomas Jefferson bought the Louisiana Territory from France for $15 million, doubling the size of the U.S. and securing control of the Mississippi River for trade. Gettysburg Address. A short but powerful speech delivered by President Abraham Lincoln in 1863 during the Civil War, honoring soldiers who died at the Battle of Gettysburg and redefining the purpose of the war as a fight for human equality. The New Deal. The New Deal was a series of programs and policies implemented by President Franklin D. Roosevelt in response to the Great Depression. It aimed to provide economic relief, recovery, and reforms, helping to stabilize the U.S. economy during one of its most challenging periods. Civil Rights Act of 1964. Signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson, this landmark law outlawed segregation in public places and banned employment discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. Cuban Missile Crisis. A tense 13-day confrontation in 1962 between the U.S. and the Soviet Union over the presence of Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba, nearly leading to nuclear war. It ended with the removal of the missiles and de-escalation. The Great Communicator. a nickname given to President Ronald Reagan, known for his ability to effectively communicate with the American public through speeches, making complex issues understandable and relatable. Atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. In August 1945, President Harry S. Truman authorized the use of atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II. These bombings led to Japan's surrender, effectively ending the war, but also resulted in massive civilian casualties and long-term radiation effects. War of 1812. A conflict between the US and Britain from 1812 to 1815, triggered by British interference with American trade and expansion. It ended in a stalemate, but boosted American nationalism and independence. Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, this 2010 healthcare reform law, signed by President Barack Obama, aimed to make health insurance more affordable and accessible, while expanding Medicaid and protecting people with pre-existing conditions. Teapot Dome Scandal. A major political scandal during President Warren G. Harding's administration in the 1920s, involving the illegal leasing of federal oil reserves in exchange for bribes. Dollar diplomacy. A foreign policy strategy by President William Howard Taft that used American economic power to extend influence abroad, particularly in Latin America and East Asia, by encouraging U.S. investment. Thanks for playing. How many did you get right? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fun trivia.